Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Trina, and in today's video I'm going to be doing my top 5 affordable eyeshadow palettes available in the Philippines. If you guys haven't seen my other affordable top 5 videos yet, I will link them down below and I will make a playlist for it. You can see it in one of the cards and on the description down below. As always, all of the products that I will mention will be down below as well, and the price. Alright, so if you guys want to know what my top 5 affordable eyeshadows are that are still good quality, then keep watching. Alright, for the first one that I want to show you guys, it came out fairly recently, and this is an all matte eyeshadow palette. This is the LOL eyeshadow palette, and this one is an 01 Natural Glamour. This is only 105 pesos when I bought it, but I think it's still the same price, and I'm struggling to open this up, but they are all beautiful matte shades. So this palette right here is very easy to use. It blends really well and the pigmentation is superb except for this one right here. But for 105 pesos, I don't know if I should just scrape off the overspray, just scrape off the top and possibly use it. But everything else on this palette is really good. It does come with this applicator right here, but honestly, I never use that. It does have a little bit of chalkiness to it when you rub into it. I'll show you guys. So when you do that, there's a little bit of a chalky pigmentation to it, but even if this is so, it's very pigmented and it's very easy to blend. So I'm just gonna put this at the back of my hand just to give you a swatch, and I'm also going to do the darker shade. These are the swatches for you. They are so pigmented. You can go from day to night by using a light hand, or from nighttime. For nighttime, you can add this color right here just to give it a little more depth, and you're good to go. Very easy for a smoky eye as well. So this is one of my favorite ones, and it's only 105 pesos. Up next is something that I've had for a while now. This is the Bilena Advanced eyeshadow shades, and this one is in Sunset Cafe. This is the old packaging that I have right here, and I know this is only 150 pesos. Not like the other palette from LOL. This one is all shimmers and very pigmented. The thing is with this palette, as you guys can see, you just need to work with it a little bit more, because to the touch, it's very kind of like wet to the touch. So much easier to use with your fingers as opposed to a brush because of the density and the kind of like wet feeling to it. I feel like the more wet a eyeshadow product is, the more pigmented it is, but it is also a little bit harder to blend with a brush, kind of like streaky. They're so pretty. Ang ganda, grabe. Okay, it's so easy to pack on. I usually just, like I said, use my fingers with this, and the colors are just so beautiful. I have to admit, I like using this with matte colors, and I don't usually use them all together just because like I feel like it might get a little bit muddy. But if you're in for, oh my god, like look at that, it's so beautiful. But if you're in for really pigmented, like high shine shimmer shades, then I suggest that you try this out, and it's so beautiful to pair with your matte eyeshadows. Next is still coming from Bilena. This came out fairly recently as compared to the EB Advanced one. This is the Bilena eyeshadow palettes, and this one is in brown and this one is in pink. So the pink one has more shimmers to it. There's only one that isn't a shimmer. So the range of these colors are very beautiful as well. This is the only one that is not shimmery, so it's like a stark white. It does still have that wet textured feeling, but as compared to the Sunset Cafe, this one is a little bit less wet. But again, I still like using this more with my fingers just because I feel like it's easier to pack on and to blend. Some of them have a little bit of chunky glitters in it, like this one right here. I noticed that there was a little bit of glitter in it, but the others I prefer more just because I don't really like having a lot of glitters on my eyes. Try to focus that in. But anyway, the dark brown. This one right here, oh my gosh, it's so blinding. You can even use that as a highlighter. So like I said, in the pink palette, I should swatch that stark white for you guys as well. I think it's just a beautiful color to brighten your inner corners. So that's the matte white right there. Yeah, so I think this is still a very beautiful palette. To be honest, I wish they had more matte shades to it. But the thing is, they also came out with a brown one, which I think is a good complementary palette to this one right here. So if that's what they were thinking, then it's a good marketing strategy because you get the pink palette for your shimmers and then you get your brown palette for the mattes. Speaking of the brown palette, this is what that looks like. That's how that looks like. So like I said, it's not as pigmented as the pink palette, but if you want to work it in for an everyday look and pair it up with a pink palette, you can totally do that. So if I definitely had to choose between the pink palette and the brown palette, I will definitely go with the pink palette just because it's more pigmented and you can definitely use this with your other matte palettes. And this one I feel like lacks a little bit more pigmentation, but if you do like this and you like a lighter kind of eye look, then this is definitely for you. Next palette is another one of the all shimmer palettes. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Shawill 4-color Dreamlike Dramatic Eyeshadow palette. So that's how it looks like. It kind of reminds me of a chocolate bar, but anyway, doesn't it remind you of chocolate? It definitely reminds me of chocolate. I don't know. So I'll swatch this for you guys. This one is a little bit less wet than the Ever Bilena palettes. That, to me, makes it easier to blend. I think you can definitely use this for a smoky eyed look, and you can definitely wet your brush with this and it will definitely give you a more pigmented look. Look at how water-like that is, like how wet it looks. I absolutely love the shade range for this one as well. It's a beautiful all over lid color. If you just want to do one swipe of this, then an eyeliner, I think that is perfect. It's not too chunky. It doesn't have any glitters to it. I definitely do not see any glitters on it. This one is in number 3, by the way. This is the one that I got. I got this on sale for 98 pesos, but originally this is 169 or 168. I will put all the prices down below. But yeah, if you can catch this on sale, definitely grab it because you can definitely use it for a lot of day to nighttime looks. The next one that I wanted to show you is from Faces and Shades, or Features and Shades. What are they called now? F and S. Anyway, I will put it down below because I still get confused, but this used to be Fanny Serrano. Anyway, they came out with these eyeshadow palettes recently. These are the FS Mineral eyeshadow palettes. So the first thing that I love about this palette is that you click it right on top and then you have an instant mirror right there and it actually stands on the desk. So I just love how the palette has 5 shades that complement each other, and for the price range you could do multiple looks with this one. You could go all matte and then you could add a shimmer right in the middle if you want to do a bronzy look, and then you can amp it up, and at night you can add that black shade as either your liner or something to kind of like smoke out your outer V or outer U. The other one is, so this one has more of the shimmers to it. That's how that looks like. So this one has a little bit more of the berry bronzy shade. So I think this palette right here is the same price as their single shadows. So if you don't want to spend the same amount on one eyeshadow and you can't really choose, then I suggest you check these ones out because they have a bunch of eyeshadows in there. There's 5 in there. They are a little bit smaller, but the formulation is still the same and the pigmentation is still very beautiful. The next palettes that I'm going to show you is one of the cult favorites on YouTube. I think it's because of Chris Lumaki. Hi Chris! She was the one who made these palettes famous, if I'm not mistaken. But I wanted to try this out because of her as well. But these are the Fashion 21 eyeshadow kits, and they look like this. They're kind of like, they remind me of the brick eyeshadows from the Body Shop, but this one is definitely cheaper. So I have 2 palettes with me right now. This one is in number 6. Which is like an all matte palette. I also have number 4, which is this one right here. I think they have 1 to 6. The matte one I have all over my eyes today. It was very easy to blend, and I've used this a couple of times, so I really enjoyed that. Very easy to use, very pigmented as well. You can definitely build it up. Be very careful with it as you build it up. My only gripe about it is that it's a little too small for some of my brushes. Like if I want to dip a fluffy brush into it, then it might get into like the other colors right here. So that's a little bit of a hassle sometimes, but despite that, I still like this palette. The other one right here is number 4. This is a mix of shimmers and mattes, and this one right here is a little bit too glittery for me, the one in the middle, although I think it would be a nice topper to your eyeshadows, but by itself I just don't really like putting it all over my lid. So I feel like that color could be a topper, which is kind of like an interesting thing to do. So yeah, these are the Fashion 21 eyeshadow kits. If you're on a budget, this is definitely something that you should look at. I'm not sure about the other kits because I only have these 2. I'm not sure if the others are as glittery and shimmery as the one in number 4, but if they are not and you've tried them before, comment down below and let me know so I can try them out as well. So before I tell you which ones of the eyeshadow palettes in the top 5 are my favorites, I'm gonna tell you some of the runner-up eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to mention. The first one is from Makeup World. This is a fairly new brand. I have it in Nude and I have it in Smoky. The only reason why they're in the runner-up is because they are a little bit more on the higher end price as compared to the ones that I previously mentioned, and also I feel like the colors are kind of interchangeable. Like it's not very versatile. Like this one, the Nude palette, I absolutely love this side, but this one right here I don't really care for. The thing is, with these eyeshadow palettes, you can actually clip them out. So I think that's pretty cool. Remove that and put it in. But you can't really choose the ones that you like. I don't know if they've changed it yet, but the Nude one has all these shadows, and then the Smoky one has all these shadows. So I feel like it's this side that I really like, and then this one is very interchangeable and they're not very pigmented. Like even if I do this, not a lot comes out, but over on this side, like the gray one, oh, that shade is actually wearable and more beautiful. I'll show you guys a proper swatch. So that's how the gray one looks like. So I wish with these shadows you could actually pick the ones that you like. Like I said, I wish we could choose and then we can make our own palette. So I would like that instead of having like a full palette wherein there are only 4 shadows that I absolutely love and the other 4 are just like okay. So I wish we could interchange them and then make our own palette. Next honorable mention is from Detail Makeover. This one is in 01 Day, and I do enjoy this palette, but like I said, this I feel like very much reminds me of the Makeup World eyeshadow palettes. This one has 9 of them in here, and I feel like there are a couple of shades that I would exchange instead of the ones that are in here. Like these 2 are very similar to me, and they're not very pigmented. They're kind of interchangeable, as you can see right there. Like I wish, I know this is a day palette, but I wish they could have gone with like a black or an even darker brown. They still have very beautiful colors. Like I don't have any other eyeshadow palettes that have these 2 colors right here, and those are pretty pigmented as well. Alright, so out of all the honorable mentions, these ones are my absolute favorite honorable mentions. The only reason why they're in the honorable mention is because they are a little bit higher on the price range and they are all shimmers, and some of them are a little bit, they could be very interchangeable. I love this. I know they look very, very subtle, but they do so much for your eyes. I don't know if I've mentioned them yet. Anyway, these are the Essence All About eyeshadow palettes, and the one that I have is All About Nudes and All About Roses. Alright, so out of all the eyeshadow palettes that I mentioned, my favorite ones would probably be the Fashion 21 eyeshadow kits because they work as a palette better as compared to everything that I mentioned. They do have a mixture of shimmers and mattes and satins like this one right here, and then you can also go for an all matte eyeshadow palette like the number 6, which is probably my favorite one out of the two, just because I do love that matte look sometimes. But yeah, like I said, it's very versatile. It works together as a palette, and that's really something that you should look for when looking at a palette. If you can do a lot of looks with it, or a lot of looks that you're comfortable with. For somebody on a budget, this is definitely something that you should go for. Alright, so that is it for my top 5 affordable eyeshadow palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't seen my top 5 series yet, or my affordable series yet, I will link them down below and you'll find it on the cards up there. So out of all the eyeshadow palettes, which one was your favorite? Comment down below. And also let me know if you guys have your own favorite affordable eyeshadows that are available in the Philippines. Comment down below as well. So that is it for this video. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do. I would really appreciate that. And also hit that notification bell just to be updated every time I upload a video. Alright, so that is it for this video. I'll see you guys really soon. Bye! Mwah.